Your cue. All right. Hi everyone. Welcome back. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Let us begin on the mat in child's pose. So coming onto your hands and knees. Separate the knees a little wider than the hips, toes together. Relax your hips to heels. You can reach arms forward or back. Good. Please feel free to modify any part of your practice today as it makes sense for you. All right, challenge yourself where you can, back off as needed. And beginning as we do, just giving ourselves a few deep breaths, getting grounded. All right, so letting the busy morning just go. And letting go of the rest of the day, just letting yourself be in this moment. Let the breath lengthen each time you inhale, each time you exhale. Maybe even firing up the Ujjayi breath. And let's take 2 more deep breaths. Then coming up onto your hands and knees, let's come forward. Let's lower down onto the belly. Slide the arms out to the sides like airplane wings. We're going to open up the shoulders here. I'm going to move away from the wall. Just giving yourself some space here. Roll onto the right arm, right, with your left foot stepping behind you on the mat or on the floor. So a nice deep shoulder opener through the right side. Just let your head drop down. Give it another deep breath. Let's come back to center. Go the other way with your left arm reaching out, then roll to the left. The right foot steps back behind you on the floor or on the mat. Just sending the breath through the left shoulder. Let's take 1 more deep breath. Let's come back to center. Slide the hands back into opposite sides of the chest. Come up onto your hands and knees. We'll release the shoulders the opposite way now, lifting up the right arm. As you exhale, thread your arm under the left. With your shoulder on the mat, you're looking toward the left side of the room and either keeping your left arm reaching up through the top edge of the mat, or if you choose, you can lift the left arm, then wrap it around the lower back. Keeping the breath moving, let's give it 1 more full breath. Letting it go, returning again to hands and knees, setting up the second side. Big inhale, left arm high. Exhaling, thread under the right side, shoulder down, head down, and either letting your right arm reach up through the top edge of the mat for the stretch, or reach the right arm up, wrap the arm around the lower back. Giving it 1 more deep breath. Letting it go once again, returning onto hands and knees. Spread the fingers wide, line up the wrist crease with the front edge of the mat, turn the inner elbow creases forward gently, tuck the toes, come to down dog, hips up and back. And of course, in your first down dog, you're welcome to walk out the feet a bit, stretching out the legs. Put a slight bend in the knees, walk your hands back to your feet so you're folding over the legs toward the back of the mat. Put a slight bend in the knees, maybe a deep bend in the knees, that's completely up to you if you want to do that. Reach the arms behind the back, interlace all 10 fingers, let the arms reach overhead, getting an assist from gravity here as you continue dropping the head down. And let the arms once again relax toward the mat. Walk the hands out, returning to downward facing dog. Put a slight bend in the knees, look forward through the hands. Walk or hop the feet up to the front of the mat. Keeping your feet about hip-width distance apart. Walk the hands in front of your feet. Feel free to grab blocks if you want to use them. Certainly not mandatory if you don't need to do so. Start bending up at your right knee, straightening through the left leg a little bit without forcing, right? No locking out the knee here. Just let the left leg straighten out a bit. Keep the chest up, lift the left arm. Opening up to the left side, give yourself a nice twist here. Some flexibility happening in the upper back. Opening through the left hip. Let's take one more deep breath. Look up if you can. And lowering your left hand to the mat, soften through both knees, switching sides. You're putting a bend in the left knee. Start straightening the right leg. Keep the chest up, spine lengthening, right arm up. You're looking toward the right side of the room, maybe looking up at your right fingertips as long as there's no forcing of the neck here, right? Never force anything. Keep the breath moving. Give it one more big inhale. Exhaling, lower the right hand toward the mat. Soften through both knees. Roll up slowly to stand as you stack one vertebra at a time on top of the next. Coming all the way up, drop the shoulders back, standing tall in Tadasana. Big inhale, sweep the arms around and up overhead. Look up at your thumbs. Exhale, dive over the legs. Lift the chest, maybe palms to shins, lengthen the spine. Then stepping your left foot back in a low lunge. Let's go right into Warrior Two. Spin the left heel flat. Windmill the arms around and out. Both arms reaching out from center. Keep the right knee bending deep. Drop the shoulders. Keep the arms nice and strong. Good. On your next inhale, let's reverse the warrior. Flip the right palm, lifting the right arm. Windmill both hands to the mat inside the right foot, coming into a wide-legged forward fold to the left. So walk your hands to the left, bring the right toes in. Prasarita Padottanasana. If the knees need to bend here, let them bend. Absolutely fine. Keep the crown of the head lengthening toward the mat, and maybe even just, if you want to sway a little side to side, you can bend the right knee as you reach over, bend the left, right? A little gentle side lunging, right? Just waking up the body here. Good. And we'll meet back in center. On your next inhale, lift the chest as you lengthen the spine. Let's come into low lunge, face the front of the mat. Pivot the toes. You'll walk the hands around. Step back to down dog. Bring your right foot back. On an inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lowering knees, chest and chin. Keep the elbows close in. Slide it through into Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose, chest up. Returning to downward facing dog with the hips up and back. Again, putting a soft bend in the knees, walk your hands back to the feet, folding over the legs at the back of the mat. When reaching the arms behind your back, switch the grip so the opposite pinky finger sits on top. It'll likely be the less dominant grip here. And either softening the knees or just straight up bending the knees, head down. One more breath. Soften the arms once again, releasing them toward the mat. Walk the hands out, bring it back to downward facing dog. Good, little bend in the knees, look forward through the hands, walk or hop the feet up to the front of the mat. With the head down, keep the knees soften a little bit, roll up one more time to stand. Press down as you uncurl, come all the way up. Drop the shoulders back, palms slightly forward in Tadasana. Big inhale, sweep the arms around and up overhead. Exhaling, dive over the legs. We're lifting the chest, lengthening the spine, maybe palms to shins. Step the right foot back in a low lunge. Setting up warrior two, right heel spins flat, windmill the arms around and out. You're looking over the left middle finger. Lengthen the tailbone down, reach up through the crown of the head. Give it one more breath. With an inhale, reverse warrior, flip the left palm, lift the left arm, windmill both hands to the inside of the left foot, coming into your wide-legged forward fold. Go to the right, walk the hands through, bring the left toes in. Fold over the legs. And you can either do the same thing you did on the first side, right? If you want to do a little side-to-side stretch, right, nice and gentle, you can go for that. If you want to just hold on to the lower legs, right, that's an option, or anything that works for you today. Let's give it one more deep breath wherever you are. On your next inhale, lifting the chest, hands toward the mat. Come into a low lunge at the front of the mat. Pivot the toes, walk the hands around. Step back to downward facing dog. You're either holding in your down dog or flow through your plank chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Let's bring it back to down dog. Giving it another deep breath or two. Put a soft bend in the knees, look forward, step or hop the feet up to the front of the mat. Chest up on the inhale. As you exhale, round down with the head down, stepping your feet wide apart toward the edges of your mat, all the way to the edges. Maybe angle the toes out just a little bit to give yourself some space to move. Bend the knees deep, drop the sit bones down, coming into Malasana, squat pose. Palms together at the heart. We're just here for one breath this time, warming it up. Big inhale. Soften the shoulders, exhale. Lower the hands again to the mat, sit bones high, forward fold, bring the feet all the way together, toes and heels side by side. Chair pose, bend the knees deep, now lift the arms. Good. Plug the shoulders back, look up between the hands, even if it's just the eyes and not tilting the whole head, that's okay. One more deep breath in. Exhale, dive over the legs, step the left foot straight back. Warrior two, back heel pins down to the mat, windmill the arms out and around. Reverse the warrior, right arm up. Lower both hands to the inside of the right foot. Wide-legged forward fold to the left. Bring the right toes in as you fold. One more breath, any variation. On the inhale, start to lift the chest. On your exhale, take a low lunge at the back of the mat. Pivot the toes, walk the hands around to opposite sides of your left foot. So you're facing the back of the room, wherever that is. Good. Lower the right knee, straighten the left leg as you come into a half split pose. Let's continue working the hamstrings. One more deep breath. Then bending up at your left knee. Lift the back knee up off the mat. Step the right foot all the way forward. Step the left foot back. Walk your right hand inside the right foot. Take your wide-legged forward fold to the left. We're going all around the mat here. So fold over the legs. Give it one more deep breath. Any variation. Chest up on the inhale, low lunge at the front of the mat. So again, hands to opposite sides of your left foot. Stepping all the way forward to the front of the mat, step the feet wide apart to the edges of the mat. Let the toes angle out a little bit, bend the knees, Malasana, squat pose. Palms together at the heart, chest up, give it one more breath. And lowering the hands down, lift the sit bones up, forward fold, bring the feet all the way together, toes and heels side by side. Bend the knees, Utkatasana. Dive over the legs, Uttanasana. Step the right foot back in low lunge. Warrior two, right heel anchors down, windmill the arms out and around. Reverse the warrior, left arm high. Lower both hands to the inside of the left foot. Wide-legged forward fold to the right. So now you know or have an idea where we're going. We're going all around the mat. Just fold here first, any variation. One more breath. It'll be an inhale, lifting up the chest. Exhale, low lunge to the back of the mat. Pivot the toes, walk the hands around to opposite sides of your right foot. Step your, nope, don't step forward yet. Lower the back knee. Straighten the front leg, coming into a half split, right? Giving ourselves a little breather. Stretching the hamstrings one more time. Let's rebend the right knee, lift the back knee off the mat. Now we step all the way forward to the front. Your right foot steps all the way back. Left hand inside the left foot and walk your hands over to the right. Wide-legged forward fold. Head down, sit bones high. Any variation, one more breath. On your inhale, lift the chest. Good. Exhale, low lunge to the front of the mat where we started. Hands to opposite sides of the right foot. All right, step back to downward facing dog. Bring the right leg back. You're either holding here, maybe shake it off a little, or take your plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog. Good. Press it back to downward facing dog. Take a brief child's pose. Lower the knees, separating the knees a little, toes together, hips to heels. 2 more deep breaths. All right, return onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Soften through the knees, look forward through the hands, walk or hop the feet up to the front of the mat. Chest up on the inhale, lengthen. Exhaling, fold over the legs. Feet again, hip up, wider than hip width. Bring both feet to the edges of your mat. Angle the toes out, bend the knees. Palms together, Malasana. So we're going to hold it a little longer. If you're modifying some options, if the heels lift up and the arches of your feet are a little unhappy, you can roll the mat up or a blanket under the heels. That'll definitely take the pressure off. You can also slide a block or a prop underneath the sit bones if the hips don't like the deep stretch, okay? So please do what's going to make sense for you here. You can hold it right here in center. If you'd like to add the shoulder opener, the option is the right hand reaches in front of the right foot with the left arm lifting high. Right, and if you've gone this far, maybe even let the left arm wrap around the lower back if you want to open up, deeper stretch, right? Deeper shoulder opener. Optional, of course. One more breath. Let's come back to center, and if you tried the first side, try the second. Left hand in front of the left foot, right arm up. All right, maybe if the right arm is lifting, let the right arm wrap. One more breath. Coming back to center, hands toward the mat, lift the sit bones up, heel toe the feet until they are hip width distance apart. That is approximately the space of 2 fist distance between the feet. Padangusthasana, grab onto your big toes in yogi toe lock. First 2 fingers of each hand, chest up, inhale. Exhale, round it down. If you're modifying here, you're welcome to do so. Just grab hands to opposite elbows as you hang over the legs. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. On your next inhale, start lifting up the chest. Exhaling, releasing out the toes. Padahastasana, hand to foot pose. Lift the fronts of the feet, slide the hands under. On an Exhale, drop the toes down, head down, continue folding over. Belly to thighs, crown of the head toward the mat, shoulders away from the ears, right? Lots of different energies moving, right? Pressing down through the legs, right? But the shoulders move out of the ears, crown of the head toward the mat, but the sit bones keep reaching high. One more deep breath. On your next inhale, start lifting the chest. Exhaling, releasing out the feet. Stepping both feet back, go right into downward facing dog. On an inhale, take it forward to plank pose. Lower all the way onto the belly. Reach the arms back behind you. Bring the feet, the legs together. Glue them together. Zip it up nice and tight. Tops of the feet on the mat. Both palms face down on the mat. Doing some locust pose, some Shalabhasana. Chin center. On an inhale, lift everything up and away from the mat. Draw the shoulders back. Keep the feet together. Lifting up. You're either looking straight ahead or you're looking toward the floor in front of the mat. Deep breaths. Let's take one more deep breath. Lifting up, 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 up on the inhale. And exhale, lower down. Turn your head to the side. Any side, does not matter. Good. Return your chin to center. You can either do a second set of this locust pose, Shalabhasana, or if you want to go Dhanurasana, bow pose, you can bend the knees, grab the feet closer toward the ankle. Completely up to you, whichever variation suits you today. Just stay connected to the breath, right? Press down, then inhale, lift up, come up. All right, if you're doing Dhanurasana, you're kicking into the hands to help lift you further away from the mat. Again, right, maybe just look straight ahead. You can look toward the floor if that's a little easier on the neck. Let the breath move wherever you are. Let's give it one more deep breath. Releasing out of your back bend, go right into child's pose. Shift the hips back, either arms forward or back on the mat. Does not matter, just deep breaths. And start to come up onto hands and knees as a transition. Bring your feet to one side. Bring your sit bones to the other, sweep the legs around. Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Flex the feet, sit tall, maybe even let the hips shimmy forward just a little bit so your sit bones firmly find the mat. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, come forward and grab your feet. Grab toes, heels, use a belt or strap if you need a more reasonable grip. Drop the shoulders back, lengthen the crown of the head forward. Keep the breath moving. Good, one more full breath. On your next inhale, start lifting up the chest. Exhaling, let's release the feet. Let's come into a twist. Bend up at the right knee. Step your right foot outside the left leg. I'm going to do this facing you. Step your right foot outside the left leg and reach the right arm back behind you. Sit tall. Wrap your left arm. Twist toward the right. Yeah. You can always work this a little bit deeper if you want. Take your left elbow, hook it outside the right leg. Finding length as you sit tall. Drop the shoulders. Let's give it one more full breath. Big inhale, return to center. Gently counter stretching as you exhale over to the left. Come back to center, release the right leg, bring the left foot in and step the left foot over. We're going the other way, twisting toward the left side. So the left arm reaches back, wrap the right. One more full breath. Let's return to center. Grab a gentle counter stretch to the right. Good. Returning back to center, releasing out the left leg. Bend out at the knees, roll onto your back. When you roll back, bring the knees in toward the chest. If it feels good, you can rock a little side to side. Maybe take a happy baby pose if that feels good. Good. Then bring both feet back onto the mat. Actually, bring your right knee in toward the chest, straightening out your left leg on the mat. We're going to release the hip flexors a little bit here, right? Hopefully alleviating any low back tension that you may be experiencing. When you sit for long periods of time, hopefully you have the opportunity to get up, but when you sit for long periods of time, right, your hip flexors shorten, so when you stand up, you're actually stretching them. So this is going to mimic that. Bring your right knee toward your right shoulder. Keep your left leg active, so your left heel presses away. You'll feel the back of the left calf make contact with the mat. Feel your tailbone lengthen along the mat toward the left leg. All right, so hugging the right knee in, let's give it another deep breath. Letting go of the right leg, switch sides, bring the left knee in, hug it in, bring the left knee toward the left shoulder, the right heel presses away. When your right heel presses away, the right leg is active, you'll feel the back of the right calf muscle make contact on the mat. Lengthen the tailbone. Maintaining nice deep breaths. One more full breath. Good. Bring both feet back onto the mat. So we're bending both knees. We'll do a little reverse figure four, then wrap up with a little Shavasana relaxation. Take your right foot, bring the ankle just above the left knee, then hug your left leg in as you interlace fingers behind the left hamstring. Flex the feet, hug it in. If and only if your knees are good to do so, you can actually interlace fingers on top of the left leg, just below the knee. So never putting pressure on a moving part, but you can work this a little bit deeper here, as long as the hand placement is appropriate and the joints are feeling good. Let's give it one more deep breath. Release it all out. Right foot to the mat, go the other way. Left ankle above the right knee. Hug the right leg in. Again, either remaining here, or if and only if the knees are good, you can interlace fingers on top of the right leg below the knee. One more deep breath. Good. Releasing it all out, feet on the mat. Right? Unless there's any final other little stretch or twist you'd like to take before settling into Shavasana, feel free to come into your final relaxation, letting the legs extend out on the mat. Let the feet separate a little. The arms drop out toward the sides. Both palms continue facing up in an open gesture of receiving. Also, it helps to let the shoulders relax back on the mat. Close the eyes. And just embracing these few moments before returning to your day. Begin lengthening the breath, observing the belly rising on the inhales, falling softly on the exhales. And maybe wiggle fingers and toes or gently roll the head side to side. Reach the arms overhead, enjoy a nice waking stretch. Bring the knees in toward the chest one final time. Roll slowly over to the right side and start coming back up to a comfortable seated position on the mat. You can either let your hands rest on the legs, palms down or up, or palms together at the heart. But relax your chin to your chest, just taking a moment as we seal our class. Reflecting and observing once again on the breath. And always taking the opportunity to honor your efforts and honor your practice today. Namaste.